Hey everyone, it is good to finally meet you. I am Teacher Tiffany. This video is starting a new season for this YouTube channel, and moving forward, I will be teaching you English directly. So let's jump right in. All right, now for today's lesson, guys, we are going to be looking at how to speak properly in English when you are speaking about making a decision. Now, this is something that is going to be very important for you all as you continue on your English learning journey. You see, many times you have to express yourself, but you don't know the right vocabulary, the right expressions, or the right idioms to use. That's what we're going to talk about today, but specifically about making decisions. For example, when you have to make a decision about what to eat, or where to go, or even what to study. I'm going to show you some key words and phrases that will make you sound more natural when you speak in English. So we're going to start with an English vocabulary word. Now, our first word is contemplate. One more time after me. Contemplate. Now, this word means to think about or to think profoundly and at length, or to meditate. Now, once again, guys, for pronunciation's sake, repeat after me. Contemplate. Excellent. Very good. Contemplate. Now, we use this word when we're trying to express thinking about something for an extended period of time, something that requires you to think deeply. Another word for that is contemplate. Now, what I want to do is show you guys some very useful example sentences, okay? Now, the first example sentence is, he was contemplating about the difficult problem. Remember, I told you guys something that requires deep thought, okay? Next, she is contemplating about buying a new car, okay? Now, just to tell you guys a quick story, I remember many years ago when I bought my car. It was my first car that I was paying for because the other car I had, my parents had purchased for me when I was in university. Now, before I bought the car, I thought about it for a long time. I thought deeply about which car I wanted, what year, how many miles I wanted on it. So I contemplated about buying a new car. You understand, right? Very good. Now, again, I want you to try, as always, every time you learn something in a lesson with me, I want you to try to make your own sentence and put it in the comment section, okay? All right, now let's go back to our last example sentence. Here we go. The teacher told them to contemplate about the meaning of life. So again, in this situation, the teacher wanted his or her students to think deeply about what life really is. What is the meaning of life? So remember, with this vocabulary word, you use it when you think deeply about something for an extended period of time. Now, I want to show you guys how to use this word in certain situations, real life situations. So going back to my screen, here we go. How to use contemplate in various situations. First, when buying food. Example 1. We are contemplating about which restaurant we should go to for dinner. So again, think about a time when you are with your family or your friends and you want to go out to eat, but you don't know where to go. But you can think about it for a long period of time because you want to go somewhere that you will like as well as your family or your friends. So you can contemplate about where to go. All right, you got it? Okay, now the next sentence we had for this situation is, my husband was contemplating about which ice cream he should buy for dessert. Remember, there are many different types of desserts, okay? Now, the next situation when going on a trip. Now, I want to pause real quick, guys, because there's a PDF for this lesson where you can print and study exactly what we're going over. It includes all of the sentences. Now you'll see that it says Speak English with Tiffani Academy. Now guys, I want you to remember that the only way you can get these PDF lessons is if you're a member of my academy, the Speak English with Tiffani Academy. Now you'll see at the bottom of your screen right now the link for the academy. You can go there, you can become a member, and you can start getting the PDF lessons attached to these YouTube lessons so you can study even more by printing them out, okay? All right, now back to our example. Here we go. All right, so again, now what we're looking at is when going on a trip. Example number 1. I'm still contemplating whether I should travel around Asia or the UK. Again, this is a situation where you want to take a trip, but you're not sure where to go. So you're thinking deeply about it. You're contemplating where you should travel to, okay? All right, now our next sentence is, Michael is contemplating going to Paris next year, okay? I actually remember when I was in high school, we took a foreign language trip and we went to Paris and it was beautiful. So if you ever have an opportunity, go there. There's so many museums and the sites, everything was great, especially the croissants. Croissants are a special type of bread that the French make in an amazing way. So I remember my trip to Paris as well. So this individual is saying that he is contemplating about going to Paris, okay? All right, now our last sentence for this situation is, she is contemplating about taking a trip to Bermuda later next month, all right? Great, now our next situation is when you are at work, okay? Now, real quick, guys, I think these sentences are going to be very helpful for you if you are in an environment where you have to speak English with international clients. The more vocabulary you know, and if you know how to properly use it, the more fluent you will sound. So pay close attention to these sentences, okay? All right, our first example sentence is, I am contemplating about how I should respond to his email, okay, when you get emails from clients. Next, my boss is contemplating about which team he will choose for the new project. Okay, so guys, you see now how to properly use the English vocabulary word contemplating in various situations, okay? Now we're going to move on to our next group. Now, the next group we're going to look at deals with on the fence, which is our idiom for this lesson, okay? Now, you'll see these circles. I'm just emphasizing the pronunciation, okay? So after me, on the, remember the TH sound, stick your tongue through your front teeth, on the fence. Now for the F sound, you need to put your front teeth on your bottom lip. So one more time, on the fence. Great job. Now let's look at the meaning of this idiom. This idiom means he or she is faced with a situation which they haven't decided on yet. So again, in an easier terms, or an easier way of understanding this is, you're kind of going between two options or two choices. Should I do this or should I do that? I'm on the fence. So let's go back and look at some example sentences to help you understand it even more. The first sentence is, people are sitting on the fence because they are afraid of the results. It means they're not making a choice because they're nervous. Next, he's still on the fence about whether he will take the job or not. Now again, remember I explained that on the fence just means you're kind of going back and forth. So I want you to think about an individual, this man in this sentence, who has been given a job offer. But he also has an idea of moving to another state next year. So he doesn't know if he should take the job or if he should move. So he's on the fence, all right? Okay, now our last sentence is going to be, she is still on the fence about whether she is going to travel abroad or not. So again, great sentence. Now, let's look at some different situations and how we can use on the fence in these situations. So back to when buying food. Example number 1. I am on the fence about spending money to go out to eat instead of eating at home. Now, in English, when we say go out to eat, that expression just refers to any time we don't eat at our home or someone else's home. So when we go to a restaurant or a fast food spot, these places are outside of our homes. So we go out to eat. But this individual is on the fence. Should I go out to eat or should I stay at home? Okay. All right. Now back to our second example. My husband is on the fence about which dessert he should choose. Again, we looked at this with the vocabulary word. My husband is trying to figure out which dessert he should actually choose. He's on the fence. Okay. All right. Now, our next situation is when going on a trip. Example number 1. I'm on the fence about taking a trip to Asia this month. Very good. Example 2. Michael is still on the fence about going to Paris. Now, guys, remember when we looked at the vocabulary word, which was great job, contemplate. Remember we said he or Michael was contemplating taking a trip to Paris. Now he's on the fence. Similar situation, but now we've learned an idiom that has a similar meaning that we can use in this situation, okay? All right, now the last sentence for that situation. I think she is still on the fence about taking a trip to Bermuda next month. Great job. Now, our final situation. When you are at work, okay? Here's the sentence. I am on the fence about the issue he mentioned in the email, okay? Now, when I was a teacher in South Korea, I remember one of my students, one of my advanced English students, had this issue. She worked at a company and sometimes she received emails that were in English from international clients. And sometimes she didn't know how to deal with the issues because they were very touchy or very serious issues. So she had to contemplate and think about them deeply and try to decide how to respond. So many times she would be on the fence about how she should deal with the issues. You caught it, right? Good job. Okay. Now, the next sentence is, my boss is on the fence about making a final selection for the new team project. Okay, great job. Now, what we're going to do, guys, is go to our expression regarding making decisions. The expression is figure something out. One more time, figure something out. And this just means to come to understand a problem, okay? So again, for pronunciation practice, figure, remember the F sound, to figure, very good, something, TH, your tongue through your teeth, out. Last time, to figure something out. Again, I want you to imagine there's a problem or an issue and something you are contemplating and you're trying to figure out the best way. You see, even in my explanation, I used figure out because it's such a natural English expression. So when you're contemplating something or trying to find a way to solve an issue or a problem, you can say, I'm trying to figure out a solution or an issue, okay? All right, now let's look at the first example sentence. Here we go. I'm trying to figure out why they left, okay? Next, she was trying to figure out how much everything was going to cost. So now this sentence can be used in a situation where maybe you're at a restaurant with some friends and you're trying to figure out how much the bill will be after you guys have finished placing your order, okay? So you're trying to figure out what the price or the end result of the price is going to be. You're trying to figure it out, okay? All right, so use this sentence when you're out with your friends, all right? Here we go. Next sentence is, were you able to figure out how to solve the problem? All right, great. Now, again, we're going to look at some situations, how to use figure something out in various situations. The first situation, once again, is when buying food. Here we go. I am trying to figure out if I should go out to eat or just stay at home. Once again, I have this dilemma. I'm trying to figure out, should I go out? Should I stay home? Should I go out or should I stay home? I'm trying to figure out what I should do. All right? Okay, next sentence. My husband is trying to figure out which dessert he should buy from the store. Again, we remember that situation. Next, when going on a trip, here we go, example 1. I'm trying to figure out how I can take a trip to Asia next month. All right, so now in this situation, again, the person wants to travel to Asia, but this time they're trying to figure out how. So maybe they have a big project and they need to finish the project before they leave. So they're trying to figure out how to accomplish all of their goals before they leave or go on their trip, okay? All right. Next sentence is, Michael is trying to figure out how he will buy his ticket to Paris next month. Again, you understand that one as well. And finally, I heard that she is still trying to figure out the details for her trip to Bermuda. Okay, excellent sentence. Finally, when you are at work, here we go. I am trying to figure out how to respond to his email. Okay, now this is a pattern that I want you guys to memorize. You can try to use this often. I am trying to figure out how to ... Again, remember in the comment section, I want you guys to try to use these expressions, the idiom and the vocabulary word, making your own sentence. Now for the expression, try to use this pattern. I am trying to figure out how to ... Okay? I want to see if you guys can make a sentence using this pattern and the expression, all right? Okay, now the next sentence is, my boss is trying to figure out which team he should choose for the new project, okay? All right, guys, I hope you understood that expression because it's so useful as you are continuing to go on your English journey. It will again make you sound so much more natural and like a native English speaker, okay? All right, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this lesson. Remember to write your sentence and use the expression, the idiom, and also the vocabulary word and put them in the comment section. I will talk to you guys in our next English video lesson. I'm Teacher Tiffany, and remember to speak English.